Welcome to Tweakatune, the YouTube channel especially created to provide feedback and promotion from millions of aspiring songwriters all over the world. Mary Dawson is a published professional songwriter and author of the book How to Get Somewhere in the Music Business from Nowhere with Nothing. Her 25-year background as a songwriter, instructor, and coach has motivated and equipped her to help others polish their craft of songwriting. Now join us for this week's edition of Tweakatune.
Welcome to Tweakatune, everyone. I'm Mary Dawson. We love Tweakatune because we love hearing from you, but every once in a while I put in my 2 cents worth in something we call Tweak-a-Tips. Just some thoughts for you to consider as you prepare, create, and present your songs. And today my topic is about guarding your lyrics. You think, what in the world is that all about? Well, I have 2 aspects of lyrics that I want to talk to you about. The first one is about when you are performing or recording a song. If you are a performing singer-songwriter, you probably are gigging in clubs, restaurants, coffee shops. And it's really important to guard your lyrics in those venues because usually there's a lot of ambient noise going on. Now the answer in most clubs is to crank up the music and crank up the music tracks to make it louder than the ambient noise. But then what happens is the ambient noise gets louder and people start screaming at each other to visit, and everything gets pitched up to such a high volume that nobody can hear anybody, and especially they can't hear the singer who gets up there to sing the song. So don't let your lyrics get lost between the cracks in those kinds of situations. You know, sometimes lowering your voice will get the attention more. So sometimes maybe consider doing an acoustic number, pulling back some of the instruments, announcing your song so you get the attention of the listeners, and do it softly and see what happens to the audience. You want them to know your song. And remember, your lyrics are 50% of the song, so don't let it get lost. The same is true in the recording studio. You know, when we go in to record a song, it's so exciting in that studio. There's so many bells and whistles and sliders and stuff. And there's drum loops, and there's violins, and there's clarinets, and orchestras, and background vocals. And we get so caught up in the musical tracks that sometimes when the final mix is done, the vocals are way back in the mix. Nothing irritates people more than not being able to hear the words, because they want to hear what the song is about. And for professionals, for publishers, if we have to struggle for the words, you know, we lose interest real quick and turn the song off, unfortunately. So make sure that when you do your final mix, you have your vocals up front enough that people don't have to struggle to hear them. Sometimes in the studio, we used to take our final mix before we finished, take it out to the car, and put it in the car stereo and listen to it with the motor playing, because that's how most people will listen to it. If you can't hear the lyrics then, they probably aren't going to be able to hear it when the record is done. You don't want your listeners to tune out. Well, the second aspect of guarding your lyrics that I'd like to mention is about printed lyric sheets. You know, every music professional, a publisher or other professionals, will expect a printed lyric sheet if you submit your song for their review. And we're not talking about a pencil-written one that's ripped out of your spiral notebook. They want something that looks a little more professional, because think about it. The publisher is going to see your lyric sheet before they hit play on the music player. And if your lyric sheet doesn't look professional, they're going to think this person isn't going to have a good song, even if your song is really good. So lyric sheets are very important. Whether you're submitting a hard copy or a digital copy, you need to make sure that your typed lyric sheet is professional looking. Now, here are some tips, and then we're going to look at some actual lyric sheets for comparison. But here are some basic tips. Just be sure all your contact information is on every lyric sheet. Don't assume publishers don't lose things. We lose them all the time. Most publishers have piling systems rather than filing systems, and we lose stuff. So the worst thing that could happen is that you have a great song and the publisher can't even find your contact information. Be sure your copyright notice is on everything, not only the printed lyric sheet, but also on your demo. It's very simple to put the copyright notice. Just put copyright the year 2013 / your name. That's it. That's all you have to do to be recognized and protected under the basic copyright law. But make sure that's on there. Then don't type your lyrics in paragraph style. If you've worked hard to do some rhymes, put the rhyming lines under each other so that you show off that you knew what you were doing when you crafted this song. And then make sure that you bold the title so that the producer or the publisher can see it immediately. When you get to the chorus, if there's a chorus, separate the chorus from the verses and indent the chorus and mark it chorus in bold. If there's a bridge, indent it, mark it bridge in bold. And it will make your lyric sheet look like you know what you're doing, which is what a professional songwriter wants to convey. So we're going to look at some examples of a really, really bad lyric sheet, and then a better one, and then finally a good one. And we'll do that, and as we do that, please pause the video that you're watching this on and take a look at it closely and make any application you can to your own lyric sheets, because this is so important in the submission process. Incidentally, these examples that you're going to see are from my book, the appendix from my book, How to Get Somewhere in the Music Business from Nowhere with Nothing. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's on Amazon. It's available both in hardback and also as a Kindle copy. Or you can go to my website, fromnowherewithnothing.com, and find it there as well. Okay, here are some examples of lyric sheets. The first one is a really, really bad one. You'll see it on screen. The title is not bolded. The font, although very artistic, is almost totally illegible. It's not easy to read. The rhymes and the rhyme schemes are completely lost by the lines that are too long and don't show off where the rhymes are. There are rhymes there, believe it or not, but they're not shown. There's no contact information, and the chorus and bridge are not labeled or set apart. They're difficult to locate, and you don't want that to happen. But notice, at least the copyright notice is there. Okay, next is a better one, a better lyric sheet. Still not really good, but better. Just look at the difference between this one and the last one. In this one, the title still isn't bolded, but at least it's set apart a little bit better. The lines are still too long, and the rhyme scheme is still lost. The chorus and the bridge are not labeled correctly. They're not indented, they're not set apart. But look what a legible font can do. It's an amazing thing just to get a readable font, and it sets your lyric apart so that the reader or the listener can see it clearly. Very, very important. Well, finally we have an example of a well-written lyric sheet. Notice that on this one there is a letterhead that contains all the contact information, and that's so important. You need to put your mailing address, your email address, your telephone numbers, fax number, anything else that you want that people can contact you with. And it's very easy to do a little letterhead yourself nowadays with the graphic apps that are available. So consider that, because it makes your lyric sheet look really well done. The letterhead provides all that essential information. You don't have to type it in every time. Notice that in this case, the title is in bold print. The rhymes and the rhyme patterns are indicated by the layout of each line. And as my husband would say, the dog is wagging his own tail. You've worked hard on these lyrics. You need to be proud of them, okay? And then the chorus and the bridge are labeled and bolded and printed and easy to locate. The font is clear, legible, and a good point size, which is easy to read. And I recommend somewhere between 11 or 12 points as a full-size document. And again, the copyright notice is given. Very important. Make this thing look sharp, people. It will help you so much. Well, to conclude this Tweakatune, I just want to say that songwriting really is a profession that has no degree or certificate that names you as a professional. There isn't any. So it all comes about in the way you present yourself. If you present yourself as a professional, people will consider you one. So it's very, very important to present yourself in a way that people will take you seriously. So think about that as you are creating and presenting your material, both lyrically and musically. And thanks so much for tuning in today. It's been such a pleasure talking with you. I hope that you'll send us your songs. You can do it all digitally now, online at tunesmithonline.com. It's free. We'd love to hear from you. Whatever the genre, whatever part of the world you live in, send us your songs. You don't even have to go to the post office anymore. And until next time, remember, I'm Mary Dawson. Here at Tweakatune, we not only believe, but we know that you guys are wonderful and you deserve to be heard.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Tweakatune. Now we want to hear from you. Visit the link to our Facebook page to download submission guidelines. Until we tweak again, keep writing.